Hey everybody, I'm back again, and we just got knocked down by a goat. Oh, and we're back again, and we got knocked down again. I'm just gonna have a lie down here. I always thought that you had to click to get back, but obviously not. We're just gonna lie down, and then we're gonna get up. So basically, every time you try and get past this goat, he's gonna ram you and knock you down. So what you have to do is this is actually another very hard part, because I never got how to do this originally, because there doesn't seem to be a way through. But what you have to do is, well, try and talk to the goat first. Hello, goat. How are you?
Hey, Billy.
To
The animal fixed on me with an evil glare.
evil
Behind
goats.
the malice and resentment, there was a cool intelligence. How
He
you
resents
doing,
being
boy?
left there.
I felt as threatened as I'd been by the assassin and his goons in Paris.
Okay. I think if you... Yeah, he just pushes you down onto the sack. George is dead. Okay. Anyway, let's go up again. But basically, this is not very clear. But what you've got to do is try and head for the ladder. And then the second he knocks you down, you have to get up quickly and run and push this piece of whatever it is, this bit, and he'll jump for you and get caught. You'll be like,
The rope by which the goat was tethered had become tangled on the old plowshare.
ha 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 ha, lol 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 lol. You are now dead. I have
Hey,
tricked
Billy.
you.
The goat responded with a cool and penetrating stare.
Anyway, so now the goat's not in the way anymore. We can go down the ladder. Now, that bit, when I did this for the first time when I was very young, that took me ages to work out, because there's no indication that you've got to, as soon as you're fallen down, run to the other end and open the door or whatever it is. Now I remember what the towel's for. Sorry, because I was considering the towel and what it was used for, because I thought it was for the switch, but it's not. I remember what it's for now. It's in here. Now, this seems like a lovely chapel. Let's have a look. Oh,
I tried in vain to move the panel.
what about this? Let's pick up this stone statue. Ooh, it's too heavy. Oh,
The statue was too heavy to lift. It overbalanced into the sand.
well, let's pick it up again and put it back where it was.
As I swung the stone upright, I noticed it had left a pattern of holes in the sand.
Now, this isn't very clear either, I must say. But, yeah, in this part, there's a lot of things that aren't very clear that you've just got to kind of
The
know.
table which interested me was a small sack.
Well, let's have a look in the small sack.
As I dipped my fingers
Okay.
into the soft white powder, I
Oh,
realized
it was
what
cocaine.
Plaster of Paris.
Plaster of Paris.
I'd used it in kindergarten to make casts of animal paw prints.
So what you want to do here, if you look on this wall here, you'll see, well, you can slightly see it in the picture, but there are slight indents.
I placed my fingers and thumb into the holes in the wall. Nothing happened.
Oh well. So what we can do is get the plaster of Paris, and if we put it in the holes down here, because as you can see that used to be there, but then it was moved. So it fills the holes.
I sprinkled the plaster on the sand until the holes were filled.
And now, remember that wet towel? Plaster of Paris needs water, so we can use this. And this should still be wet. Oh no.
I squeezed the towel as hard as I could, but it was barely damp.
Well, I'm going to have to stop it here and go and wet the towel, and then come back here with the wet towel, because there is a time limit. I can't remember what the time limit is, but I'll see you in a second. Okay, and we're back, and now I've got a wet towel. So, you have to take this wet towel that you wetted from the sink under the bar, and you have to wring it on the plaster of Paris. It's really annoying that there's a time limit on that, but I guess it makes sense. But they don't tell you how long
Water
really it
was
would take.
quickly absorbed by the plaster.
Now, it should be hard now. No, sorry. Let's pick it up.
I eased the solid piece of plaster from the sand. Underneath, It had formed a perfect copy of the statue.
So, what do we do with this holes? We put it in hole... Oh, what? Oh, no. Pick it up again. So pick it up and put it in the hole.
I eased this underneath.
Okay. Do I have to... No. There we go, finally. I was just like, but you have... I think I clicked away so it walked instead.
Fitted snugly into the 5 matching sockets. There was a soft thud. Then...
Silence. Ooh. Moving wall. And a passageway. ZOMG. Anyway, let's have a look in this secret passageway that works after like 1,000 years. It's very strange. And we have a flashlight so we can see, which is lucky. Good thing they made them out of stone steps, unlike in National Treasure when they just had that huge amount of wooden steps in that really old place, which was really stupid, and I don't see how they would have thought to do that. I mean, why wooden steps? Why not stone? I mean, wooden would rot, obviously. Oh, it takes you right back to Paris without any outro.
So, where did you stay last night?
Okay.
At McDevitt's. I got to drinking with Doyle and a couple of the guys.
That explains why you look so ill today. Did you get any sleep at all?
Not much. I had to share the room with another guy.
Ooh.
No?
Hardly. He was dead.
And you say Pigram has disappeared?
Without a trace. But my visit wasn't a complete waste of time.
Nonchalantly, showing the gem.
Pigram's gem?
The Templars gem. Whoever Jacques Marquet is, he's in for a disappointment.
Jacques Marquet?
He's the guy who should have collected the gem from Fitzgerald.
See, that's the
What do you
thing.
have planned?
Sometimes the music
who,
audio goes
what,
right over the
where,
dialogue, so you can't hear it very well. I think it's really annoying. It's not very well designed.
Picture of a hanged man.
I mean, you can adjust it manually, but if they're at the same levels, they should compensate for one another. They shouldn't... Anyway. Well, there's nothing else really you can do with Nico right now, because of the fact that... you know, there's nothing really you can do, because there's no point looking at the manuscript, because we just saw it. Well, actually... Nah, I won't bother looking at the manuscript, there's no
Can't
point.
sit here all day, much as I'd like to.
Ooh!
Don't forget to look for Lobineau at the Crown
Lobineau.
Museum. And why don't you see if Rosso has heard anything?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Anything else I can do for you while I'm out?
Wait a minute.
Shopping, a trip to the laundromat?
Just take care of yourself.
This is a give yourself. And triumphant music as we leave Nico's apartment, having not get laid. No, sorry. Anyway, so as he said there, as Nico said, we should go and talk to Rosso. And this is, I'm pretty sure, the only time in the whole game that you have to go to the police station. You can go any time because it's always open, but this is the only time you have to go to the police station because you have to talk to. Let's see. I'll go to the poste police because you have to talk to Rosso, as Nico said, and Rosso will tell you something interesting, or it may be either Rosso or Moo. One of them tells you something.
Excuse me?
Ah, Monsieur Stobart, n'est-ce pas?
That's correct. You remember me.
The retention of such data is part of my duty as a gendarme.
Gendarme.
That is how crime is fought, through attention to detail, not intuition.
Yes, sure.
But you work for a psychic detective. Oh, well, let's just talk to him about everything since we might as well. Well, not Rosso, because he'll just say, "Can I talk to Rosso, please?" We talk about the killer.
Do you know a man named Khan? He's a shifty-looking guy with a scar on his left cheek.
No, monsieur. Has this man any connection with the bombing of the cafe?
Yes. I believe Khan was the name he used when he hired the clown costume.
Let's talk about the two thugs outside of the Hotel Ubu.
I'd like to report an assault.
Yes, monsieur. Where is the victim?
I am.
I'm the victim. I've been harassed by a pair of thugs.
I see. And where did this alleged assault take place?
Alleged assault.
Outside the Hotel Ubu. They stopped me as I was leaving and went through my pockets.
Could you describe the suspects, monsieur?
One looked like a gorilla, and the other looked like a weasel. Their names are Flap and Guido.
Bon. I'll get them this time.
Do you know them? They look related to you anyway.
What are you going to do about Flap and Guido, Sergeant?
I'm going to bust them, monsieur. For years I have been hoping to pin something on that pair. Now's my chance. I'll show them. And the inspector.
Thanks, Sergeant.
He's going to show the inspector that he can do crime fighting.
I'm only doing my duty, monsieur.
Yeah. Let's ask about Jacques Marquet.
Have you heard of a man called Marquet?
Yes. He used to be known as the Mole of Montmartre. I heard he's been hospitalized, probably by one of his rivals.
Oh, what did he do?
Which hospital was Marquet taken
Okay,
to?
well, where was he
The
taken?
Hagenmeyer Clinic in the Avenue des Hérissons.
The Avenue des Hérissons. Let's ask again.
Why was Marquet known as the Mole
Oh,
of
yeah,
Montmartre?
that's what I want to know.
Because he lived in Montmartre, I suppose.
Yeah, but why the mole?
I don't know. Maybe he ruined people's lives.
Yeah, maybe. That might be the case. Well, let's talk to Rosso.
Is Rosso here?
Yes, he is. You wish to speak to him?
Why not? Yes.
Yes, I do.
One moment, monsieur.
Let's talk to Rosso. I don't think we actually have to talk to
Stobart
Rosso.
is here to see you, monsieur.
Did he say what it was about?
No, monsieur.
You can never say. You can never ask what it's. You can never
Very
tell him
well.
what it's about. Anyway. I don't think he says anything very interesting. All you need to know, Moo just said. So.
Hi, Inspector. Remember me?
But of course, Mr. Stobart. My mind is a well-ordered faculty. A mental classification system that's the envy of the Bibliothèque Nationale. No tricks, mark you, monsieur. Just exercise. Just as our muscles waste through inactivity, so our minds decay. But there is no need.
Okay.
If only people would learn to exercise their wits daily.
If he was trying to impress me, it worked. He was pompous and patronizing, but
He had style.
Eh bien, if you called about the bombing, you're too late. Investigations have been closed.
But
I've been taken off the case.
what about the murder, the dead guy?
It is out of my hands.
Well, let's just ask about some of this stuff. Let's ask about Jacques Marquet.
Ever heard of a guy called Marquet? Jacques Marquet?
Marquet, I know the name well. He has a record for suspected blackmail, kidnapping, arson,
Yeah,
and
he's meant to be like
armed
an
theft.
old criminal.
An all
That's why he's called the
rounder.
Mole.
How come he's on the loose?
His bravado is matched only by the courtroom skills of his attorney.
There's no point asking about the case because, you know, he's been taken off of it, so... well, I'm just gonna leave that. There's no reason to talk to him anymore. Since... let's leave. Goodbye.
So long, Inspector.
Okay. So, that's everything we needed to know from the police office, and that's... We never need to come here again, unless we want to use the phone. Now, you may ask, well, what did we learn there that was important? We learned that Jacques Marquet went to a specific hospital, and as you can see on the map, it should be marked... there. The Hôpital. But first, let's go to the Musée Crune and and see if Lobineau is there. Just as a spoiler, Lobineau is there. See this man hovering over this case? This is Lobineau.
I beg your pardon. Are you André Lobineau?
Are we?
That's me. You want my autograph?
No.
I was told you may be able to help me.
Help?
My name is George Stobart. I'd like your professional opinion.
Well, okay. Shoot.
Okay, very, yeah. What do we have to ask? Well, I think we have to ask him about everything, so... Let's talk about Montfaucon.
Does the name Montfaucon mean anything to you?
Sure. It was the most grisly spectacle in Paris until the Revolution.
A public toilet?
La 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 la.
Was the place of execution for many thousands. A dark temple of death with row upon row of arches, each one framing a grim exhibit. Scores of rotting corpses
How very morbid.
swung on creaking rope, while the crows devoured their flesh.
That explains the image of the hanged man. I found a reference to Montfaucon in Ireland, in a village called Lochmarn.
Lochmarn, that's where Pegram was digging.
That's right. He'd left the excavation before I arrived.
Let's ask about Pegram.
Do you know Pegram well?
Not really. I met him at a conference. I would have liked to talk to him in depth, but I didn't have time.
When was this?
Oh, back in the summer, July, I think.
The second week of July?
Maybe. Yes, it was, just before Bastille Day.
So Pegram was in Paris at the same time as the other victims.
Pardon? Victims of what?
Nothing. Just
I don't know why he doesn't just think that in his head instead of just saying it, blurting it out loud. Let's ask about Montfaucon again.
To the northeast, near the Canal Saint-Martin, but there's nothing there now. The old gibbet was torn down during the Revolution.
So I think we should just talk to him about the manuscript as well.
I'd like your opinion on a medieval manuscript.
Vraiment? Do you have it with you?
No, it's too fragile. And besides, there are certain people who'd stop at nothing to get their hands on it.
Intriguing. Do you have a copy of the text?
There isn't much, only a few Latin phrases. I was kind of hoping you'd help decipher the pictures.
Without seeing the manuscript, that's a tall order.
Just tell me one thing. What does the image of two men riding on the same horse suggest to you?
The Knights Templar. Does the Templar seal appear on this manuscript? I'd love to see that for myself.
Okay, let's ask about
Can
the
you tell me
Templar.
anything about the Knights Templar?
I sure can, Georgie.
Don't call me
Soldiers,
Georgie.
Diplomats, mercenaries, monks, bankers, you name it, the Templars fit the bill. The greatest fighting force in Christendom, the militia of Christ.
Jeez.
Okay.
How did the Templars get
So,
their name?
From the building in which they set up their headquarters.
a temple.
The King
No,
of
sorry.
Jerusalem gave them part
Well,
of a
it was
mosque
temple.
on the Temple Mount. It was said to have been the site of the original Temple of Solomon. The order became known first as the Knights of the Temple, and later as the Knights Templar.
You're a mine of information, Andre.
Glad to be of help, Georgie.
Don't call me Georgie.
How come the Templars became so wealthy?
There was a constant stream of new recruits to their ranks, many from noble families. They were required to swear a sacred oath of poverty, chastity, and obedience. So, their money, goods, and lands were donated to the order. The Templars soon held land in France, Scotland, England, Spain, most of Europe, in fact. The poor Knights of Christ became the wealthiest
Yeah.
power in Christendom.
It's quite right the fact that they had to swear kind of, chastity and, and have a very simple life, and yet they were the richest organization at the time. Like, they were the richest kind of people.
Is it true the treasure of the Knights Templar was never found?
Who knows? So little knowledge of what really happened remains. Or, if it does, the truth has never been made public.
What do you mean by that?
The Templars have attained mythological status, like the King Arthur of the Britons. There are people even now who say the Templars still exist.
Do you think that's likely?
No, not for a minute.
Well, no. Well, Nico knows him. Let's ask about Nico.
The manuscript is being looked after by a friend.
In Paris?
Yeah, not far from here, in fact.
Well, just give me the address and I'll come round and take a look.
I'm not so sure about that.
But she
Maybe
knows
I
him.
should check with her first.
A female friend?
Yeah, she's a woman. Maybe it was my imagination, but I noticed
Yeah,
a predatory
Andre is not a
look
very
in
nice
his
man.
eye.
He's a
Suddenly,
rapist.
This friendly historian had turned into the big bad wolf.
Yeah, it's a bit stereotypical, isn't it? The French man has to be very kind of,
This
You know.
friend who has the manuscript,
Oui,
yeah. Anyway.
anonymous girlfriend.
she lives at 361 Rue Jarry.
Ah, I know it well. I'll drop by.
Just as soon as I can. Ugh, creepy guy. Anyway, let's, there's nothing here. I don't really want to ask him about the gem because, yeah. But I'll ask him about this, because he's a historian. He may know something about patterns.
Does this matchbook mean anything to you?
Alamut is the name of the place where the Hashashin were based.
Where is it?
Somewhere in what used to be called Persia. I'm not too hot on modern geography, I'm afraid. The most recent map I have shows America as an English colony.
How up to date you are. Anyway, well, let's go.
Thanks for your help, Andre.
You're welcome.
Goodbye, Georgie. No, okay. See, I don't really like Andre. He's a bit of a weird guy. He's just kind of like anything to do with women. He's just the kind of stereotypical Frenchman, kind of, oh, it's a lovely lady. Ah, bon, yes, lovely boobies. But yeah, he's a bit odd. But anyway, now we've talked to Lobineau and we've got the information we need. Next time we will be going to the hôpital and see if we can talk to Jacques Marquet about everything. So, see you then.